everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. Today we're going to review James' collection, and I call it the Wonderful Mixed Collection because it is mixed. He's got a lot of variety in there, and it's wonderful because it is mixed, and it has some things I haven't seen before. So, well, let's start off with something fairly familiar. We'll start off with this big old Rolex Submariner. Like that watch a lot. Uh, just nice and clean and good example of a sub. Now, there were a couple glycines, and looking at them, they look a lot like the Rolex, but with, I mean, if you have a Rolex like that, I don't know how much you really need the glycines. Now, the glycines, you can see they have a nice brown and a green bezel on them, but why don't we do this? I would put the two glycines on a boat, okay? All right, so that's off to a great start with a Rolex. All right, so let's take a look at the next group of watches. Now here, there are a trio of Seikos. The one at the top is a world timer that I just love. I really like that a lot. And the other two are a couple divers. One with the orange and the other with the blue dial on it. Not sure why you'd want to have two, but a lot of people collect divers, and those are a couple nice ones. In fact, the Submariner is actually a diver as well. So, and those two glycines, but remember, we put the glycines on the boat. Okay, so the Seikos are some nice ones, and especially that world timer you got there. That's a honey of a watch. All right, the next group of watches is just about as yummy as you can get. Okay. First of all, you have the Panamatic with the moon phase on it, the Glasuti original. Oh man, that's one of my favorite watches. Just love that watch. It's got the time on it. It's got the sub dial with the small seconds. Then it's got the over to the on the right side. It's got the lunar and a nice big date. Right, you can see the date without having to use a magnifying glass. That's a honey of a watch. Next to it on the top row is a Zenus El Primero. Another classic watch, great one to have in a collection. Love that watch. That's just with a classic movement in it. Below the Panamatic is a Squadra, a Reverso Squadra, Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Squadra. That's a great watch. Nice big watch, and it's got the reverse on it that you can flip it over to another side. And another classic. These are all classics that James has here, and this is my favorite group of the ones that James has. Now, another one on here that I really, really like is the Dan Henry. Now, the Dan Henry, the thing about the Dan Henry, it's a very economical watch. Those things are only about $250 US. And they have a Seiko NH35 to keep them ticking. And it's just a cool looking watch. I mean, that's just like, it's an automatic and good looking. And if you want to sort of go to a lower price on a watch, I mean, I think that Dan Henry is a heck of a buy. And like I said, it's got the NH35 Seiko in it. It's good standard movement. Now, it doesn't compare with the other three on the page, on the same page, but hey, sometimes you need a watch to go, just sort of take out and don't have to worry about. The other three, they'll go anywhere. Okay, let's take a look at the next group. Here, there are you got two Omegas and a Panerai. The Panerai 111 has the OPX1 movement in it. And I got to tell you, I like the looks of that Panerai. The Panerai 111 is a sweet looking watch. It is an ETA 6497/2 base watch. And it's not too pricey, but for for an ETA based Panerai, it's sort of right in there. Love the looks of the thing. I tell you, the thing that had to grow on me was the crown guard. At first, I didn't like it, but I tell you, it really grew on me. I sort of think it's cool now, and also too, you can bang around in it. The Speedmaster is so cool. I just love this one. It has the 1861, the Omega 1861 movement in it, and the 1861 is based on Alemania 1873, and the original Speedmaster was based on Alemania. And so I like that. The only thing different about that, they put in I think it was a gear made out of silicone or something that was self-lubricating, and but that thing is for the excuse me, for a moon watch, for the Speedy moon watch. This one is my favorite, even more so than the original. I really like this watch a lot, and I think it was a great choice that James made in getting it. The Seamaster, on the other hand, I'm not too sure about it. It doesn't seem to be the coaxial. It doesn't seem to be the Planet Ocean. It's some other kind, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. I looked up the reference number, and it seemed to be a little different than what was in the watch. It's got the helium release about the 10 o'clock on it, but it's not the coaxial. And to me, the best thing about the Seamaster is the coaxial. Okay, well, on there you got the classic Speedy. I love that thing, and Panerai. I don't know. I like to look at it. That I like the looks of it. I'll put it that way. And the Seamaster, like the Planet Ocean a lot with the coaxial, and I don't think that quite has it, but that's okay. I mean, what are you going to do? All right. Finally, this next page, there's one watch that I just really like. This is coming, a Ludwig Automatic Nomos. It has the Epsilon movement in it, which is an in-house Nomos movement. And it's got that classic, clean Bauhaus look. This is a honey of a watch, and I think this one it's so great. It's the kind of watch that you could wear every day to work. People see that, and they know you have a good taste, but you can also wear it to something a little more formal. Just a nice all-around watch. I like it a lot. The Meistersinger I like too. I mean, how much? I mean, this is something. If I had one of those, I'd wear to parties just as a conversation piece. Who's got a watch with a single hand on it, the one-handed watch, and how it works in terms of looking at the minute, missing the minute hand, but understanding the minute hand by the gradations between the hours on it. It just a cool watch. I'll put it that way. And they're usually very well priced. That's another big advantage. Also, too, the Nomos for what you get, I think is one of the best deals around with in-house, really good in-house watches. Of course, Philippe Dufour recommended it, so I'm not going to argue with him. Oh, the Laco. Oh boy, I can't say this. It's a 1925. Um, the Laco 1925 is a German watch. It has a Miyota 821A movement in it, and it's a it's like a it's a pilot's watch, and the I I I I would have to have one to know. There have been reports that they're loud. My hearing, I have crummy hearing, so it wouldn't bother me a bit. But they also shake, so with free spinning uh, uh, rotor in them. But other people just love them. And it's an interesting watch. That's what I like about it. Anything that's interesting that's not exactly the same. It's also like the Nomos above it. It's also a German watch. Uh, Finally, there's uh, the Baume and Mercier uh, Classima 8688. I love the looks of that watch. I'm not crazy. I don't, in fact, I'm uncrazy about Baume and Mercier. I have a Raymond Weil, and I thought the Raymond Weil was a really classy watch, right before I knew much about watches. And one day I was looking up the in one of the ratings that they had, and they defined my Raymond Weil as pseudo luxury. Okay, well I already paid $300 for it at the time. I thought, well, that must be luxury, especially compared to what I had before that. Um, and they listed both Baume and Mercier and Raymond Weil as pseudo luxury. Now, both watch companies make some very good looking watches, but I don't think that the label of pseudo luxury is unfair. And it's the kind of one you might want to put on the boat. If you're going to spend that much money, this is, I think, the big thing about both of those watches. You can spend a lot of money for Raymond Weil and Baume and Mercier for, I don't know, not getting true luxury watches. So on the boat with that one. Okay. All right. So that's James' collection, and the thing I love about it, it has variety. So many watch collections they don't have variety, and I like variety in a watch collection. As they say, it's the spice of life. Well, all right, we have this collection, and we got three watches on a boat. Well, what do you do with a boat? I'd sink it. It's Baume and Mercier and glycine. You don't need the glycine when you have a Submariner. When you have a Rolex Submariner, the Baume at Mercier, man, someone's gonna see you wearing that thing, and yeah, I just don't want to. I mean, like I wear my Raymond Weil to rake leaves and stuff, but I think with a with a good looking watch like the Nomos, you don't need that kind of thing, and I think that your the Ludwig automatic is just a super classy watch, and I think if your watch is sort of inch in that direction, you'll be in much better shape. The ones like the Meistersinger, man, they're great conversation piece. They're the ones to wear to a party. Um, the Laco, I don't know, but if it starts bouncing and shaking, because some people have reported they feel the thing going like that with their Laco. But if it does, don't worry about it. If it doesn't, then forget it. But it's because it's sort of a cool looking watch. Okay, James, I really want to thank James for sending me his watch collection. I think it's a great watch collection. It has a lot of variety in it, and good variety. Um, the the quality of the watches with the Omega Speedmaster, the Nomos, and of course the Rolex. Those, I think, if you need to start drifting a little more in that direction, instead of something like a I think with the two Glycine and the Bomb and Mercier, you can get something like maybe a pre-owned Jaeger-LeCoultre, something really good like that. I think that would be, I think, where you'd want to go. There is no reason in this interesting collection that James has that I can think of is to get anything but add something that really adds some horological value to it, because you got some neat variety right now. Okay, that's it for today. We'll see you next Friday when we have our regular uh, program. And again, this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. And your comment. What comments do you have? What do you think of James' collection? What do you think he ought to add to it? What do you think of my comments? This guy, yeah, you're full of beans, or whatever you want to say. Um, and we'll see you next week. Bill Sanders for WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection.